Hello and welcome to this video on grafting trunks. We previously described how you can graft one trunk to another. This increased the girth of the trunk. What then could be better than grafting one trunk? Why not many? We've previously demonstrated how you graft one to another. This is useful when you need to increase the trunk girth. Obviously, in order for this to work, you need two trunks. More often than not, one being much bigger than the other. It works, but obviously you need some good stock to start with, but you can use any young nursery stock as the graft to this. What then if you have a lot of nursery stock and nothing that is established? Fortunately, we can use young stock that would be suitable for grafting to create a faux established tree. The way this is done is really something interesting and is possible by exploiting the way a tree heals. To do this, you'll need many saplings or similar. The exact number will vary by the size of the trunk you want to create. You'll need something round to act as a form for the trunk. This should be between 10 and 30 centimeters in height, with the diameter up to you. You will need some soil and a suitably large pot. Not necessarily a bonsai pot, but still something that will hold the plant and allow it to drain freely. In the case of these cuttings, we are using jade tree cuttings. They grow quickly, but we've also been able to successfully use cherry, maple, juniper, and more. You can see how we have a number here. You need to begin by placing your soil in the pot. Then your guide into this soil so it stands upright. Now add some more soil. This will be the level where your trees start out. Obviously with that, you need to decide how much depth you want. The more depth there is, the longer the trees can stay in this particular pot. From here, you add the cuttings, saplings, or whatever you are choosing to use in a circle around your guide. In this case, it's a piece of PVC pipe. These need to sit right next to each other. This can be a bit tricky to do, but with a deft hand you can manage it. You can also look at using double-sided tape and other things, but to begin with, you're best off going with something very simple. We were using grafting tape and twine to hold the trunks hard against the guide. Doing this ensures the trunks grow both sideways and forward. This is a necessity for both an increase in size and for the whole process to work. As you can probably guess, doing what we have causes the trunks to fuse. Over time, they'll grow into each other and become one tree. Once the tree gets to this point, you can remove your mold that keeps the tree trunks together. In some cases, given the species, you may want to consider using something less established or less permanent. Toilet rolls for toilet paper being a good option. Anything that is soft and biodegradable will work. The obvious problems with this approach are that you are creating a fake thick trunk. The reason we call it fake is that there is a significant hollow in the center of the trunk. Over time, this will gradually fill in, but it takes a very long time. Consider how long it takes for a tree to grow out. Now you're looking at the same context growing inwards. The hollow left behind provides an opportunistic site for infection by mold and rot. In other cases, it could be a problem from dirt building up inside the empty space. Depending on what species you've done this with, each of them can be more or less of a concern. This trick, sleight of hand, or illusion, if you want to call it that, is an easy way to turn excess cuttings, nursery stock, and more into something really interesting and very quickly effective. Ultimately, there are other issues with doing this, but to begin with, it's an interesting way to simply create something that's unusual. It can also be used to create more artistic displays. Thank you for watching. If you found the contents of this video interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions you might have below.